I'm a third year musical theatre student, so I have been through the drama school audition process. And so in today's video, I wanted to give you 4 of my biggest tips for drama school auditionees. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome to the Performing Arts and Me. I'm Millie. I'm a third year musical theatre student, as I said. I'm training at London Studio Centre, and before London Studio Centre I did a foundation year at Bird College, so I actually went through the drama school audition process twice. I've got loads of videos on my channel about the drama schools that I auditioned for and about tips and advice, but I just wanted to do a video on like 4 of my biggest tips. They aren't really in like an order of importance, so I would recommend listening to them all, but gonna start with the first one now. Okay, so my first tip is to not discount a school until you've been there and like auditioned. And I mean this kind of in 2 ways. So firstly, I would say don't just discount a school based on what you've heard about it from other people, because different people have different experiences. You might take something differently or interpret a situation in a different way. So just because one person hasn't liked it doesn't mean you won't. Also, do your own research on things. I nearly didn't audition for London Studio Centre the second year round because of what I heard from someone about the funding side of things, whereas actually when I researched it, it was slightly different from what they'd said, or I'd misinterpreted what they said. So always do your own research and check things. But the other side of this is don't discount yourself as not right for a school because you think, oh, they won't want me because I'm not enough of a dancer or I'm not enough of a singer. If you want to go to the school, if you are interested in training at that school and you can afford it, because obviously there are restrictions in terms of financials because auditioning can be expensive, but if you can afford to, then I would say don't write yourself off as, oh, that school will never take me, they don't take people like me. Because I wasn't sure about London Studio Centre. Dance was not my strongest discipline. And I was like, London Studio Centre is the only school with 3 dance sections to the audition. They had a ballet section, a jazz section, and a contemporary section. Well, I say the only school. The only school that I was auditioning for that had 3 dance sections. I was like, well, you know, dance isn't my strongest thing. 3 dance sections, probably not going to get in. But here I am, I got in, you know? So like, don't discount yourself as not right for a school, because you never know what they're looking for. They could be looking for someone exactly like you. And also try not to listen to rumours about who they're letting in this year. If you can afford to audition for all the schools you want to go to, then audition for all the schools you want to go to, whether or not you think you're going to get in. If you can't afford to do that, then maybe there is like a balancing act to be had there, in terms of maybe you pick one really aspirational school, one school you think you're quite likely to get into, and one in the middle. Like you might do for a UCAS application for a normal uni, you might pick one with like low grades, mid grades and high grades. Maybe you could try doing that if you can't afford to audition for all the schools that you want to, but if you can, then I'd say to try and go for that, because you don't want to put yourself in a box. My next point is that you deserve to be there. Like, you deserve the chance to audition, and so you should own your place and time there and not feel like, oh, what I'm doing is not good enough or whatever. Again, it's about not deciding for yourself the outcome before you've actually had the audition. Have the audition first, you know? So yeah, just like remembering you deserve to be there as much as anyone else. In some cases, you've literally paid to be there. And this is something that we were reminded of for 3rd year, because we had a talk with a panel of grads, and I think this was where it came up, but someone said something about like how we're paying to do this course, so therefore like feel free to go to the front, not like be pushy and like get out my way, I'm coming to the front, but like don't be afraid to take up space and like ask questions and things like that. Like, this is your audition. If you're paying for it or not, some schools you don't have to pay to audition for anymore, which I think is a really good thing. But even if you don't have to pay to audition, you've still submitted an application. You've got every right to be there as much as the next person, unless you've just like not signed up and decided to show up anyway. You're literally allowed to be there. So just make the most of your audition. My next tip is to prepare. Prepare your material, prepare your songs, your monologues, whatever it is you need to prepare. A dance solo if you need to. Prepare it in advance, like quite a bit in advance. You don't want to over rehearse things, but you do want to be really comfortable with the material you're going to do. If you're given redirection in the room, like the panel might say, oh, could you try doing it, your monologue, with this emotion, or like thinking about this thing, then you don't want to be thrown off by the fact that you can't remember your lines. I would say for like songs and monologues, knowing the lines and the tune for a song are like bare minimum what you need to know. You should know those, yes, but then you want to know about your character's intentions, you want to know the setting that they're in, you want to know like the context of the rest of the play or the musical or the song or who they're speaking to, that kind of thing. That's what you want to be knowing, and ideally you want to know all of that so much that you can internalize it, so that when you're actually doing the audition, you're just being the character rather than thinking about the technique of how you're singing the song or the words or things like that, and it allows you to be able to be redirected, as I said. So learn your material well in advance, like know it a month before your audition if you can. And then my final tip is to give your all at every audition. When I say give your all, and this is something that always I think needs clarifying, day to day you're not always going to be able to give the same amount, because you might be more tired, you might be under the weather, you might have an injury, all those different things. So I'm not saying give your all that you could give on your best day at every audition, because that's not always practical. What I do mean by this is don't let fear of being judged by others prevent you from doing what your best is at that moment in the audition. I remember with my first face-to-face audition, which was for Emmildale Academy, I think I came out of there feeling like I hadn't done my best. I can't remember exactly because it was a few years ago now, but I think it was the dance round. I felt like I hadn't performed like face-wise and possibly improv as well. Like I hadn't let myself do everything that I wanted to do. I hadn't let myself perform as much as I wanted to. And I think, again, a little while ago, so it's hard to remember, but I think that was due to more being scared of being judged by the other auditionees more than being scared of being judged by the panel. And although it's kind of understandable, it's such a silly thing to do, because I think the thing you have to remember with this is, like, when are you ever going to see those people again? Actually, yes, you might see them again. There were people that I saw at my auditions that I saw later on. So I'm not saying like be rude or horrible to these people, like obviously don't do that, like be a nice person, but don't be worried about what they're going to think of your performance, because A, it's not up to them, it's up to the panel. B, you're probably not going to see them again. And D, C, what letter are we on? Like it doesn't matter what they think. What's the worst that's going to happen? They don't think you're a good dancer or singer or actor. And like, that's their opinion. Art's subjective, so yeah, it doesn't matter. So that would be my final tip. Make the most of every audition. Don't hold yourself back. Like, let yourself give your 100% on that day at that time. Do the best that you can. Okay, and that is it for this video. I wanted to keep it quite short. If you want any more drama school audition tips, I have loads on my channel. I have videos about the different schools that I auditioned for. I have videos about preparing monologues and songs, preparing dance solos. I think I have one on clothing, like audition wear. So yeah, go and have a look. I'll try and leave a playlist linked up in the cards. I don't know which side of the screen it's on, but I'll try and leave a playlist linked up there. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you found it useful, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!